people, we haven't studied the Takrur people. We don't know about one of the greatest universities in Islamic history is the Sankore University in Timbuktu. And most of the scholars were black Africans. But we don't know about that. And we certainly don't go out and tell the African American that you have something to be proud of. Don't be ashamed. You come from a great people. They're not a bunch of animists, and no. These people are going back to worshiping trees and stones. You can go join white religions now where they worship trees and stones. They call them Wiccas. People with PhDs. But we haven't thought about this. Nobody knows about Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio's contribution establishing Khilafah, fighting the jihad. We don't know about Omar Tal and the jihad he led against Arab slave traders who were illegally, by Islamic law, illegally capturing black Africans, some of them Muslims, and selling them to Europeans. I mean, this is historical. This is not something made up. So don't be surprised when this African American community, the Afrocentrists right now are literally writing dozens of books saying the Arabs are just another form of oppressors for you. That's all. If you join Islam, you're just joining another form of oppression. Just like the white people oppressed you, now the Arabs are going to oppress you. They even make you take Arab names. This is what they're saying. And you can go get dozens of books, literally. I can go take you to a bookstore right now and just get you dozens of books. Where are the books written by Muslims telling them about Islam? By Muslim scholars telling about who they are and where they came from. Where? I mean, the Million Man March, 1 million black men. And these people think they just want to make fun of it. I mean, McLeod NewsHour, now we're done with McNeil, Priest, hopefully we'll get done with the other guy as well. But they have, when they're talking about, when Louis Farrakhan says there's a new black man in America, then the camera pans some black men in a tree listening to the speech. Don't think this is just kind of, they know what they're doing in the editing rooms. They know exactly what they're doing. So let's make fun of these people. So what's different? What's new? And then Muslims look at the black Africans in this country and literally say, well, look at them, you know, they don't do anything for themselves. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. That's certainly not the way the Prophet ﷺ looked at the oppressed people in Mecca. That's not the way he looked at Bilal ibn Rabah. That's not the way he looked at Salman al-Farisi. He went and gave them the message. He delivered the message to them and raised them up and elevated them, and gave them human dignity that Allah has promised them. But we can look at them and say, look, we don't even know the history of these people. 400 years. We look at the Muslim countries. We can look and criticize the Muslim countries all we want, and we know that the vast majority of what's going on in the Muslim country is a direct result of colonization. We haven't gotten over colonization. The Muslims haven't gotten over colonization. We all still want to become just like the white European. That's what the Muslim goal is now. Let's get a degree from the university in technology, so we can build cities like they build cities. We can even have city planning like they have city planning. I mean, Muslims know more about European culture than they do about their own culture, because all their higher education is from these institutes that are basically just propaganda machines. Really, I bet you most Muslims now, educated Muslims, know more about European history and civilization than they do about their own Islamic civilization. Because they certainly don't know about the black African contribution to Islam. So this is the state we're in. What are we going to do? What are we going to do here in America? In this state alone, California, this is the second largest incarcerator in the world. California, in the world, second to China. There are more blacks in California prisons than there are in all the countries of the world put together. What's going on? Well, the Quran tells us what's going on. إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ عَلَى فِي الْأَرْضِ. Fir'aun has exalted himself in the earth. وَجَعَلَ أَهْلَهَا شِيَعًا, and made its people sects. made it split them up, fighting each other in factions. يَسْتَضْعِفُ طَائِفَةً مِّنْهُمْ. But look at the Pharaonic methodology. He takes one group from all the groups that he have made into sects. He takes one group in particular. يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُم. And he slaughters their men. He slaughters their men. وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُم. And leaves their women alive. إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. He's from those who sow corruption in the earth. This is the Pharaonic technique. Get people, read the Federalist Papers. I mean, Muslims, we don't read. We don't even know the country we're in. We don't know its history. We don't know what these people believe in. Read the Federalist Papers, where they explain the whole American political system is based on creating factions that have to compromise in order to get anything done. I mean, this is their own paper. They spill all the beans. They'll let you know exactly what they do. They don't have any problems about that. You can go find all the information you want. Set people up into factions. Why, though, do they take one group and kill their men and leave their women alive? Because, according to the tafsir, they're afraid of their destruction at the hands of those people. They're afraid of their destruction at the hands of those people. Now, if you listen to rhetoric, America's society is going to hell. Why? Because of crime. It's going to destroy us. Well, where's the majority of crime coming from? The black men. Well, what do we do? They get a Harvard professor to tell us the reason that they're criminals is because they're retarded. They're mentally retarded. In an 850-page book called The Bell Curve, he proves with the great statistics of Western civilization, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the average black African in the United States has a borderline IQ of about 85. He's literally borderline mentally retarded. And mentally retarded people aren't capable of thinking clearly, so they behave like mentally retarded people. This is the scientific evidence. And then Newt Gingrich's contract on America, like some mafia, right? Well, the contract on America is basically on the disenfranchised. Let's cut off welfare. The number one growth industry in California is not in Silicon Valley. It's not in computer technology. It's in prisons. In the last 10 years in this state, we have built, and I say we have because we're all paying taxes. We're all paying taxes. We have built 19 new prisons. Almost 50% of the inhabitants will be black African males. That's who's filling up the prisons. Now what happens in prison? The first time some of these people can think clearly, they become Muslim. And if you read Newsweek now, they're getting scared because they're becoming Muslim at phenomenal rates. Now why are they afraid of Islam? Because Islam is what you call a primary form of resistance. There are two types of resistance. These people recognize that. You read their books. We don't read their books. We don't understand. We don't know what they analyze, what they look at. No, because we're too busy studying engineering and studying medicine. We don't read their books. But their books are very revealing. They say there's two basic types of resistance: secondary resistance and primary resistance. Secondary resistance is when an oppressed group takes an ideology of the dominant oppressor and uses it against the oppressor himself, which is an ipso facto sign that they're inferior. You see, if you're borrowing the rhetoric of the oppressor to resist them, you're basically telling them, well, we can't even think for ourselves how to get out of this mess. We have to use you. That's a secondary form of resistance. A primary form of resistance is when they literally take something that the oppressor has no knowledge of, and it's a critique and a form of resistance outside of the oppressor's frame of reference. Now, when the black African, the black American Muslim people in this country begin to take Islam as a critique, as a psychological unifying factor, and as a form of articulating what they have been experiencing for 400 years, that's problematic to the dominant culture. That scares them. That gives them the shakes.